My name is Diane Bonfiglio, and I am an assistant professor of psychology at Ashland University. I teach courses in introductory psychology, in research methods in psychology, and in the clinical areas of psychology like personality, abnormal psychology, and health psychology. My primary area of expertise is in health psychology. Health psychology is the study of how people develop illnesses and how they cope with them. My two primary areas within that are in organ transplant and in optimism. Currently, I have two major lines of research. In one line of research, we're looking at organ transplant, what prompts someone to become an organ donor in particular, and then also how organ donor recipients actually fare post-surgery. And then another line of research, we're looking at the influence of optimism on students' performance. For that line of research, we've really gotten to the point where we are manipulating optimism. So we're trying to cause them to be more optimistic, and then we examine how they do on different tasks after that. This past semester, 6 students and I published a study in a journal that was the result of a project that we had worked on for about a year. And in that project, the students devised the procedure, so they came up with the idea for the study, and they ran participants through it, and then they did the majority of the writing on the paper as well. For the study, what we actually looked at was the influence of optimism on performance on a task. So we manipulated participants' optimism. For some of the participants, we actually caused them to be more optimistic in the moment. And then we gave them a difficult task to perform afterwards. They did a set of difficult anagrams. And we actually found that students who had been manipulated into being more optimistic, who actually were optimistic in the moment, actually performed differently on the task than students who hadn't been. The research on optimism is important because it's only been in the last few years that researchers have come to the idea that we can manipulate optimism, that it's something that we can change about ourselves rather than you either are optimistic or you're not. So we're looking at optimism because it might help us get clues into how to change students' motivation and change their performance. It's so important for students to get involved in research endeavors as undergraduates. One of the main things that graduate schools is looking for at this point is undergraduate research experience. They want to see that students can be involved in a project and see it through to finish. It's such a great, important skill set for them. So it's excellent for the students to have the opportunity to be able to do that. The other thing that's really important about doing research is that it really gets students involved and gets them more involved in their department in a direct way. It's wonderful for me to be able to have the opportunity to work with students too. Students bring such a fresh perspective to the research process. It's nice to be able to hear them ask interesting questions and to bring a new and interesting look at things that I might have looked at one too many times. Research experience is great for students because it allows them to learn how to do the processes that will be important to them in graduate school. So I love that at Ashland University we're able to start students early on in the research process.